Greetings. So the High Court has ruled the Mohammeds lost again. And this development brings us even closer to D-Day, deportation day for the Mohammeds. Let's spend the rest of the show talking about what matters. Let's expound, let's express ourselves. There's so much to talk about, there's so much that has to happen. And if in fact we need to give some credence to the High Court and the judge, the High Court judge, I understand it's a man. I'm not a sexist, but you want to get the job done, bring it before a male judge. Are there any male magistrates in Guyana? Because every time you think of a magistrate or you hear of a magistrate, it's a woman. We understand women are easily compromised, sentimental, and emotional. It seems like we can also extend the fact that women can be sympathetic to white-collar criminals, but they are not so sympathetic to black-collar criminals, if you know what I mean. But in respect, the Mohammeds lost again. But on their social media page, they have a win for the Mohammeds. No, the only win the Mohammeds have is the party that was engineered, thought up by Doggy, structured by the PNC, and given to the Mohammed to sponsor it. That's the win they win. Welcome to Uncensored Guyana. I am Dr. Prasad. That is EL, Dr. Prasad. Let's talk about it today. Share this live. I want to hear from you in the comments. Give me that thumbs up. Then I know that we're on the same page. I understand that the haters would not give a thumbs up. They'll just comment. But for the lovers, the good Guyanese citizens, wherever you are in the world, give a thumbs up. It helps. And I appreciate that. So if we have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 views, we should have at least 10,000 thumbs up. At least that. You understand what I'm saying? But the algorithm of YouTube is messing up a bit. It's the algorithm. Don't get it twisted. Because I hear some things in the background. I hear some remarks floating around about the views and views and views. Oh, he was getting 30,000, 25,000, this thousand, that thousand. And look now, no, stupid. It's the algorithm. It's what it pushes. Because a lot of people miss the show. They miss the live. They miss the feed. They don't even see my YouTube profile to even click on the videos. That's the result of the algorithm. So we are trying to get that back streamlined. Remember, I was off for a while because of the whole issues with the eye, and the doctor says don't go online and blah, blah, blah. So it was a few days lapse. And in that time, it messes with because algorithm is about consistency. Consistency. So when you come back and you have a different kind of hashtags and things like that, then you have to start all over again. It's the internet. Nonetheless, the other platforms, if you miss it here, you'll get it on the other platforms. So before I go into the meat of the show today, there's some things I want to greet you with. Not pleasant, but I want to greet you with it. It was on my agenda. You know, recently they had an accident in Berbice, where unfortunately, as they described the person, an overseas-based Guyanese man suffered fatality by an accident with his bike and a motor vehicle. Now, speaking on behalf of the news that is circulating or came out of the mainstream, and what I've been hearing in the grapevines and things like that, the victim, the deceased, who was a 21-year-old Guyanese based in America, was riding an unlicensed motorcycle. He himself was unlicensed, and he was riding without a helmet. And based on the evidences, he was speeding. They haven't said if he had any alcohol in the system, because that would have been consistent with the fact that you took a bike of that model, you're not experienced, you don't have a license, you don't have any kind of protective gear, and you're just riding through the street as if you have possession of the road. There's nothing else there. Nobody else has a right to use the road. They have to look out for you. That's an extension of inexperience, immaturity, and irresponsibility when people act like that. And more often, it results in fatalities. In this case, a death. And I've heard in the grapevine that the relatives of this deceased man wants to hold the person that he ran into accountable for his death. Bear in mind, as you all would have followed the news, he crashed into this vehicle. As in, he saw the vehicle, but because he was moving so fast, lost control, slammed into the vehicle. This is not a situation where the driver of the vehicle, who was not in the wrong, had all clearance, anticipated that this motorcycle that really didn't have right of way, but would have slowed down because he was already in the path. What happened as a result of that? The motorcycle ran into the vehicle and he toppled and the accident occurred. But the relatives of that deceased young man, who of course always, as in many cases or all cases, relatives would always give their relative the right. Even though the evidence are there that, hey man, this person is wrong. No. You should have looked out for the victim, because what? You're in their head. You will know what they will do. My reason for mentioning this is that the law of Guyana cannot be prejudiced. Death or no death cannot be prejudiced. At the end of the day, a lot of people are using the roadways. Many of them are as irresponsible as that dead biker. They don't have experience. They just take somebody's vehicle or somebody's bike They think they have it under control. They want to impress somebody. They're under the influence of alcohol or under the influence of stupidity, and they race on the roadways, resulting in casualties not just to themselves, but other road users who are doing their best to follow traffic laws. And when things like that happen, you hold the person who really should have been the one to be protected, hold them responsible because a death occurred. The death occurred because the person who died should have known it's a suicide mission. To take a bike they can't control. It's not an e-bike. Look at the size of that bike. Why would you imprison the person who drove the vehicle, or you put him on remand for something that was beyond his control, out of his control? Why? That's the justice for the dead. What happened to the living? Where is the justice for the man who got involved in an accident that had nothing to do with him? Nothing to do with him. It is prejudiced. For whatever reason, it's blatant prejudice. Don't tell me because it's of overseas Guyanese. Don't give me that bullshit. Based on all the evidences that were out there, the victim, the person who's deceased, as a matter of fact, they're both victims. The one that is on remand didn't take his car and ran the biker off the road. He didn't drove head in collision with the biker. That is attempted murder. The biker ran into him, but yet you lock him up. While you're doing your investigation, you may have taken the license of the driver. What is he doing in remand? What? We can justify the one on the bridge. He knew the truck wasn't fit. He had no license. And as a result of all these issues, it resulted in the death of someone. That's a different case. This is the politicization of the courts, because it is perceived that Berbice is a PPP stronghold. So everybody living in Berbice, especially if they're Indo-Guyanese, they're PPP. Therefore, if you go before a magistrate in Berbice that happens to be black, then you're fucked. Then you're fucked. Because you're treated as a PPP's supporter from Berbice. I think the man who was remanded for that accident should not have been remanded. One, he is licensed. Yes, you took it away, pending investigation. But he should not have been, he should not have had to be put on station bail or whatever fucking bail, because he didn't cause the accident. The fucking biker caused the accident. The biker should have known better, because he could not have done that in America. He could not have done that in America where he lived or whatever. To take a bike on license, uninsured, and he himself on license, uninsured, without a helmet and ride, he couldn't do it in America. But they come to Guyana and they think, oh, it's a cowboy system. We can do whatever the fuck we want. And when they get into trouble, the Guyanese who live in Guyana, following the laws, have to pay the consequences. Release the man in the remand. Berbice, whoever controls Berbice, revisit the case, get the man that is on remand for that accident out of remand. He doesn't belong there. You already took the man's driver's license. What, you want to take the man's freedom too for something that he didn't cause? Take the man out remand and stop politicizing the justice system. Stop doing it. That's exactly what you're doing. And speaking of the politicization of the justice system, what the fuck is wrong with the Guyana police force? A lot of you niggas are telling me that I'm Uncle Tom. You're not telling me, you're accusing me of being Uncle Tom. You're telling me I hate myself, I hate what I look like, I hate whatever, I hate my ancestry, all kinds of shit you're telling me. You are attacking people on my page, you are attacking people who make comments in favor of common sense. People who comment on my page to promote common sense meaning you can think. Thinking is fun to mental. Thinking is like sex for you niggas. I'm telling you now, if you try thinking, you'll see it's a nice feeling. But no, when other people think, you attack them. You call them out. You want to abuse them online. But I encourage people, continue to express your views. Continue to make your comments. Say what's on your mind. When they insult you or they go after you, it's because that's a level of their interpretation. They don't have that capacity to think. You know, maybe they're like that black man at the MASH thing celebration that is gyrating, or what do they call it, the backballing, the thing when the female, you know, back up to the man, and what the thing they call it, backballing, and the gyrating back thing, whatever. And he's enjoying it. Little did he know, it's a gay man that is doing it to him. He thought it's a woman. So he's having fun. He's like, wow, he's lucky. Some girl picked him out of all them niggas that are standing there. And she's like, oh my God, I want to give this guy a backballing. Only to be told by somebody else that, hey man, what the fuck are you doing? That's a homosexual. That's a gay man that you're grabbing on there. And he acted like he's surprised. I didn't know that. Yeah, of course you did. Of course you did. You really got to be clueless and stupid to not knowing that that's a homosexual that is doing that to you. Come on, man. Your eyes weren't closed. That's just typical to what I said many times, that black men seem to have an attraction for homosexual men. This buggery thing is like a culture, it's like a lifestyle. That's the first they can think about. They forget that women have a vagina. So they're obsessed with a penis and a butthole. Telling me you don't know that's a homosexual that's giving you a backballing or back gyros, whatever. I don't even know what they call it, but that thing, you don't know it's a homosexual. Come on, man. Of course you did. Don't pretend like you don't know. But you thought it was night. The sun was still up and people were filming. Stupid. Now, Ashruddin Muhammad. Consequences, consequences, consequences. You tried again, you lost again. You tried again, you lost again. Mr. Nandalal, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed that you're trying. Like I said before, and the country knows you have this thing in your hands. You know, all this chit-chatting and all this, yeah, whatever, man. You have this thing in your hand. You could bring it to an end. You can end it. You have the power to do it. So don't insinuate and push subliminal points or messages targeting the magistrate Judy Latchman. The country has an opinion where she's concerned. Ain't nothing new. The country has an opinion where Judy Latchman is concerned. So you have to now act to let the country understands that you are not the one directing this whole show. But talking and doing nothing, because at the end of the day, the process is hijacked. It's hijacked. So every time that the magistrate, Judy Latchman, has to accommodate all of these different strategies from the Mohammeds, don't blame the lawyers of the Mohammeds. That's what lawyers do. You should know that. You're a lawyer. That's what lawyers do. The same way how you're politicking around, talking about blah, 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 this and that. That's what the lawyers are doing, politicking with the law to prolong the case as long as possible so they can earn more. You think the Azradine lawyer likes Azradine? They like the money he's paying them. They don't like him. They like the money. So they will try every strategy, everything. If this case can go on for the next year, it's good for the lawyers. It's not a one-time fee. That if they took the case for $1 million, it means that even if it goes on for 5 years, it's the same $1 million. No, it's not a one-time fee. So the longer the case prolongs, it's good for the lawyers. And you too, Mr. Nandala. And you too. You stay in the press, that's one. You maintain some kind of relevance, that's two. And you get to spend the budget. Because the state needs to pay these prosecutors, these foreign lawyers, everybody needs to get money. And you can't pay them the shit money that you pay the local lawyers. You gotta pay them US dollars, a lot of money. But like I said, you could bring this to an end. You can end it. So while projecting that, in other words, there's some fishy about it. Yes, we all know from day one. There's something fishy about it because from day one, the case went to Judy Latchman, somebody who has zero experience. Just a low-level magistrate, principal, whatever title, but the thing is, it went to her. Now, who sent it to her? How did she got it? How she got that case, but the case of a few days ago, where the black man, Bino, is it Bino? Floyd something, Bino? The black man who also had to be extradited, his case went to a black magistrate, acting chief magistrate for that matter, higher. But the Mohammed's case that is more complicated, complex, and more high profile went to somebody who's lower, Judy Latchman. Explain that. Who decides who gets cases? Who decides that? Somebody got to send the cases to the magistrate. Who determines that? The DPP? The Director of Public Prosecution? I mean, Judy Latchman worked with them for a while. She worked under the DPP for 4 years. Then she became magistrate under the PPP. So who determines who get these cases? Educate the public. So Guyanese know how the process works. Because Guyanese want to understand, how did Judy Latchman end up with the Mohammed's case? How? And why not with this other case? What, she can't deal with 2 extradition cases at a time? But she can deal with other cases? There are many cases that are brought before the magistrate. Sometimes a magistrate has to deal with 5 murder charges, different clients, or robbery, all kinds of stuff. So why can't one magistrate handle 2 extradition cases? Why split them? Or the Indo-Guyanese magistrate handles the case with the Indo-Guyanese, and the black magistrate handles the case with the black Guyanese. Well, wouldn't you have gotten justice from a black magistrate? After all, she might be PNC. And if she's a PNC sympathizer, she would be pissed that Ashwadi Muhammad fucked up the PNC. So she would be happy to send his ass away. But you put before an inexperienced magistrate when it comes to extradition, this is what you get. 4 months and it's still no resolution. 4 months and it will continue. So we can't point the finger now at the magistrate. No, man, the magistrate is a magistrate who takes orders. She takes orders. There is no such thing as an independent judiciary. There is no such thing. They all have a boss. All have a boss who review their judgments, review their ruling, review their writings in every case. Everybody has a boss. Now we have the chief, is it the chief justice, chief magistrate? A man who decided today that this shit show thing ain't worth it. He just struck down this request from the Mohammeds to cancel this extradition hearing and strike down this. No, he's like, hey man, go face your crime. I'm just putting in my words what the chief magistrate, the chief justice would have said. They're trying to exhaust the system. Now, what's the next move? Just because one application was deemed unconstitutional, it's not unconstitutional when it comes to the extradition. It's unconstitutional because a lot of things need to be sorted out, but that has nothing to do with extradition. The extradition case continues. They have exhausted all the resources in terms of which law they can pull up to try to prolong this. They have exhausted that. Today is like, hey, that's it. Now go back to Judy and let's continue with this whole request, because that's what it's there for. That's the whole point of why the extradition is before the case, the magistrate. It's not a trial, Azradine. The magistrate just have to determine how fast you leave the country. That's it. She's not there to say, oh my gosh, he's innocent. No, it's not a trial. So all the strategies that they are pulling is because they want to revert back to the original point that the extradition was illegally filed. Therefore, all the case or all the hearings that happened from 4 months ago should not have happened, because it should not have been, it should not have reached the court. That when the United States State Department made this application and it went to the Attorney General, then to the Home Affairs Minister, they should have struck it down then and say, hey, no, this is not, there's no validity here. It's not valid. So if they had struck it down, then it couldn't have reached the court. This is what this is all about. To take the system back to that point, so the court could say, well, based on what the Mohammeds have presented, they are correct. The Home Affairs Minister and the Attorney General should not have entertained this extradition request. Therefore, you don't have a case. But that ain't gonna happen. Because like the American ambassador said, when Trumps want you, Trump gets you. Might I digress? The Mexican drug lord that no country could have gotten that every country wanted, thought he was indispensable, all powerful. He controlled the Mexican government. He was like, nobody can touch me. Trump did the same thing. The State Department indicted the man, put a 15 million bounty on the man's head. They put 50 on Maduro, but they put 15 million on his head. This Mexican mentor, some shit like that. He thought nobody could touch him. But Trump did. Trump got him. Unfortunately, he couldn't go to face justice in the United States. They killed him in the process of arresting him. Luckily for our boy Muhammad, you won't get to that, because you have a safe flight to the United States to face justice. A safe flight. They'll protect you. Your father will get the best medical care there. You don't have to worry. But right now, the Americans are wasting money on this case. Should have been a quick thing. And not just the Americans are wasting money. I want to see Guyanese salary increase. I want to see pay increase for Guyanese. The people that works in the Ministry of Legal Affairs, they need increase of salary as well. But if Anil Nandalal has to spend money behind this case, and the monies that he's spending behind this case are monies that can very well go towards improving the salary for the people who work in the Ministry of Legal Affairs. I want the money to go to Guyanese workers every day, or whatever, a monthly salary. So you can help us out here, Muhammad, by saving the taxpayers. Give yourself up, because at the end of the day, you're going to prolong this. You're prolonging the inevitable. It's going to happen. Today's ruling brings you closer to the shores of New York. Closer. Take the flight while it's available. Know when to quit. You prolong it, you're just getting people more pissed. And when they're more pissed, they're going to unleash more terror on you, because you know at the end of the day, the woman don't want you, but you keep prolonging and prolonging and prolonging until she gets real angry. And she embarrasses your ass on social media. You could have saved yourself the embarrassment. So, what I'm saying is, Azruddin Muhammad, all of the distractions, all the so-called interest in exposing whatever corruption, people are interested in your corruption being dealt with. That's the biggest corruption in the history of Guyana to date. Your corruption, Azruddin. It's the biggest. I am saddened when I hear from Guyanese working with government agencies, and they're earning 36,000 Guyana dollars a month. Be it the 10-day or whatever day, I'm saddened. 36,000. And you have a case that doesn't warrant the investment, and people are earning millions from that case. And that case bears no fruit for the average Guyanese citizen. No fruit. Because when the Mohammeds are gone, it's a political win for the PPP. It's not an economic win for the Guyanese citizen. It's politics. So I want to see the Guyanese directly benefiting from their country. 36,000 a month. This is not private enterprise. This is government employees. That's what they're earning. It is far from ridiculous. Absolute nonsense. Stop wasting fucking time on the Mohammeds. You have the power to end this shit. Prolonging it like a shit show cinema for who to spectate. People aren't impressed with this. They aren't impressed with it. They want it to be over with because monies are wasted on this nonsense. So if the Mohammeds can spend money behind the lawyers, they have the money to spend. But Guyana don't have the money to spend behind these prosecutors and lawyers. We don't have it. While the citizens there are earning 36 and 40,000 a month in such a rich country. And yes, rich. As in Guyana earns a lot of money. They ain't rich because of the resources. I'm talking rich financially. Guyana is earning money financially. Enough money not to pay those fucking ridiculous salaries to its citizens. Stop wasting money behind these stupid shit show circus cases when the country is seeing that you have many other situations that doesn't cost the country that amount of money. Notably, the one that they said is some PPP supporter that was supposed to go to Italy, extradition to Italy. How did that happen? He was remanded to prison and put on $2 million bail. And before you know it, it was over. It was over. You're making a scene out of this same process like the others, but it's so complicated because you're making it complicated. It's benefiting somebody. These people, Guyanese, don't believe this shit that this is a whole transparent thing and is no. There's something behind the scenes that's making this prolong like this. It's a good thing that the Chief Justice or the judge that ruled in the case today, it's a good thing that he is independent. Because if he was controlled like Judy Latchman, he would have accommodated the thing too and say, well, yes, let's take it here. It's a good thing that that he's not controlled. So if you need to review the magistrate, investigate the magistrate, find out. If Mr. Nandalal, if you have nothing to do with this, if you are not a part of this cover-up, allegedly, if you are not in any way influencing this process, then let the Guyanese know by launching an investigation. First of all, halting the case, state the reason why, get your facts together, remove the case from Ms. Latchman, investigate her, let's get this thing over with. Because all of these fly-by-night cooked up excuses, as you very well repeated, Mr. Nandala, with hospitalization and medical this and medical that, you know it's all fake. Then why can't you? You know it's fake. The country knows it's fake. The fact that the magistrate rescheduled a case of this importance, not with a valid medical report, not by having medical expert testify to the validity of the situation, just by her own instinct, okay, postpone. It's ground for you to investigate it. And not only that, it happened again. Subsequently, the man was late, pretend to charge or whatever, wanted warrant. Then after that, Third time, chest pain. These are grounds for you to investigate. The magistrates say, no, this is too consistent, it's too often, it's too repetitive. Then why not? Why stay on the sideline and make comments as if you have no control over this? You're the Attorney General, you're the Minister of Legal Affairs. And I'm insulted when you have, knowing that cameras are on you, and government officials looking for something to spew that questions the morality of the PPP's members, and you, Mr. Nandalal, is smoking a cigarette and throwing the butt right there on the grounds of the High Court. What's that? We are here cussing people out about littering and things like that, and messing the place up, throwing garbage everywhere. I am cussing people out with that. They're showing how nasty Georgetown is. And there you are dropping stuff right there. You have to be in the moment, sir. You must be in the moment. Live by example. It's caught on camera. I have seen President Irfan Ali walk to wrong places. I've seen him on cleanup campaigns, taking his hand without a glove and picking up garbage in the streets. I've also seen the president, Irfan Ali, holding his own umbrella, carrying his own bag. Because besides being a president, he's also a Guyanese. He wasn't born with a gold spoon in his mouth. He ain't better than anybody else. He understood that. But you, Mr. Nandalal, you have your security carrying your coat. Carrying your coat. Aren't these security police officers that's given this detail to protect whatever? You have grown men carrying your coat. That is not public attributes to anybody who has interest in running for presidential office. People are turned off by that. They're like, huh? Is that big? I mean, he can't carry his own coat. People got to carry his, I mean, a man? It's like a woman giving somebody her bag to carry. Her purse, yeah. Shit, women do that. They want to impress their other friends and say, I am Miss Thing. Look how important I am. I am too big to carry my purse. My driver has to carry my purse. My driver has to open the door for me. Fuck, man. Fuck, man. And this is the thing about these politicians. Before they're ministers, this isn't just Nandalal. This is the whole bunch of them. Before they are ministers, they open their own car door from the inside, even if they have somebody driving them. They open the car door themselves all their fucking lives. They carry their bag themselves. They hold their own umbrella. They have a coat. They took it off. They carry it themselves. Before they're ministers. And suddenly, when they take the oath and become ministers, they suddenly become gods. They can't carry the coat anymore. They can't open their car door anymore. They can't, fuck, man. This is why a lot of you get voted out of office. People are disgusted by that shit. They're disgusted by it. This is why a lot of parties lose elections, because people, the public are seeing that and public, what the fuck, you just open your own car door a month ago and suddenly you can't? You're like fucking big boy or big girls, like You step, fucking, it's nonsense, man. I hate that shit. Seriously, I hate that shit. It happens to with some preachers. Some of these so-called bishops and these fucking low-life thugs. It happens with them too. Oh, pastor this takes off his coat. The secretary carries it. She feels special. Oh, I'm carrying the coat of the pastor. He pulls up. Somebody comes open the car door like he can't do it himself. Some even have carpet spread for them. And they're forgetting the people that they raise themselves up above. Put them there. Oh, you see it a lot with the Mohammeds. You're seeing it. He's one of them too. He can't open his own car door. He can't hold his own umbrella. Ajruddin, yeah, the one who fighting for poor people, who talk about equality, and he cares about the poor. Yes, he too. He as well. You have seen him a lot like that. But you can understand. It makes him feel like he has a bigger dick. But he's paying those people to do that. That's a part of their job description. But which ministry, which government ministry, is it written in the manifesto when you are employed, be it security or whatever, that it is a part of your job description to carry a minister's coat, open the door for them, go buy them coffee? Where is it written? It's not. Because public servants are not subjected to that kind of humility. Private sector, you can have some bosses who are bitching you around and they want to impress everybody or make you feel like you're insignificant and you're low. So they treat you like you are fourth-class citizens. Yeah, because they're paying you. It's their business. They can fire you. But not in the public sector. Not in the public sector. You don't humiliate people like that. That's humiliation. Humiliation. I'm condemning it because I don't do that shit. I don't do that nonsense. And I never will. If I excel to that position of minister, whatever, I will never humiliate people like that. Carry my coat, carry my bag, for what? Open car doors for me, for what? For what? What am I, fucking handicapped? I can't do it myself? Elections are coming up. The public is watching. People have to contend with the stupid salaries they're getting. People have to contend with the high prices in the shops. They have to contend with the poor electricity supply. They have to contend with the nasty water that's coming out of their taps from GWI. They have to contend with all of these inconsistencies. And also to see ministers being treated like gods on social media that they made ministers. You people, I say again, since we have the People's Progressive Party in government, and President Irfan Ali is the head of that party and he's the president, I'm saying this to the People's Progressive Party's government. For you to stay in power, you need the Guyanese. Without the Guyanese, you are not powerful. You're powerless, like the PNC. I don't want to see that shit anymore. You are not above the people of Guyana. You're not bigger than them. You're not greater than them. And you're definitely not gods. Because it's the people of Guyana made you government. You didn't do it yourself. When you came around during the elections, you were humbled. You were humbled, composed, because you want people to believe that you are one of them and you are like them, because that's the fact. The fact is you are one of them. You are like them. Stop rubbing in Guyanese face that you're better than them, because you're not. Your career or your profession prior to getting in politics, there are thousands of Guyanese with those same careers. So if you were a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher or whatever it is, you're not alone. There are thousands, tens of thousands of Guyanese who are doctors, lawyers, teachers, and they don't behave like that. Your attitude changed because you got a political appointment that came as a result of the Guyanese who voted for you. You ain't fucking better than the Guyanese who voted for you. Stop the bullshit. This ain't the first time I'm seeing this nonsense. And every time I see it, I'm turned off. Open your own fucking door. Carry your own bags. Carry your own coat. Go buy your own coffee. The fact that the people are struggling, they can't enjoy the salaries to live at a lifestyle that they can be proud of, and you're promoting in their faces that you're gods, it's a turn off. That's not what I'm fighting for. What I'm projecting, what I'm promoting is what Dr. Jagan stood for. Show me a video where he did that shit. Show me the information, the evidence where Dr. Jagan treated people as though they're lower class. Show me. There is none. He walked with slippers. As a president, he wore old shoes. He recycled his clothing. Be like Jagan. He fought for the working class. The working class. He wanted Guyanese, the working class, to be treated with respect, to be treated with dignity, and to be compensated adequately. He worked for that. That's his legacy, man. Don't change it. Don't change it. People aren't stupid. They're watching, they're learning, and they are contemplating. You want to live as a king? Do it in the private sector. Don't do it in the public sector. You want people to worship you? Build your own enterprise. And let the staff you hire from your private sector enterprise, let them worship you, but not in the public sector. Because you're serving the public. You are a servant to the public. You serve. That's what public servant means. You serve the public. Means you should be the lowest of the most lowly, the most humble, the most composed, the most patriotic and considerate individuals, especially if you are cabinet ministers. Enough of this nonsense. The man at the top is our focus. The Ali government will continue to shine and continue to rise because President Ali represents Guyana. Let's keep our eyes on the prize and understand, long live the PPP, because we Guyanese will continue to sustain the health and the strength of the People's Progressive Party. We know the direction we want to go, and we demand for the party to stay on that path, on that direction, and deliver to the Guyanese people what the founder of the party promised. That is a better living, better quality of life for the working class. And the working class of Guyana is 80%. They are the ones who need to be properly represented. President Irfan Ali raised the salaries of the Guyanese. Nobody in Guyana should work for less than 100,000 a month. Nobody. Nothing less than 100,000 a month. So if they're getting 2 weeks only, 10 days, it should be 50,000. 50,000 if it's 10 days. Nothing less. So if the government can treat its citizens with that respect and that honor, then you demand it from the private sector to treat your citizens better than the government is treating them. The private sector always must maintain a higher standard when it comes to how they treat their workers, apart from how the government treats their workers. Share this live. I want to hear from you in the comments. And for those persons in closing who ask me why now they're asking for my Zelle number. Now they're asking. Look, I told you many times, I have a big ego. People tend to get disrespectful when they think you're begging. I don't tolerate that. So when the Zelle number is there for persons to give their donations, it's a matter of your choice. I'm not begging you. I would never do that. But when they're calling and they want all kinds of conditions, and if I don't take the phone, if I don't this, then they're like, I don't have time for that shit, man. So I stopped putting the Zelle number. I stopped with that shit because it is humiliating. What I'm doing has cost me. It has cost me in my private life and my business life. The positions I've taken with my programs, the platform, it has cost me economically thousands. My business went down. What, should I have quit and focus only on my private life and say, hey, you know what, fuck it, let the people do what they got to do, I'll build? No, I couldn't. It's not that easy. The universe is doing what the universe needs to do to send people who matters to offer donations, and they do it without questioning. They do it from their hearts. I'm not going to stoop to that level like the pastors do and all the others do, and compromise and say things that people want to hear just because you want them to donate. I ain't going to do that. I wouldn't do that. All right? So I'm not putting that number again. I'm done with that. Just so you know. So the people who are calling and contacting, like, I would like to know, the number was there for months, Your account was there, months. Now you're pretending like you want to make donations when it was always there, but you never did. Now you're pretending. Forget it. You don't need to. The universe shall provide. So in the meantime, I can speak unbiasedly and speak to the need of my people, to let the Guyanese understand that I stand with them. Until next time, I thank you for your attention. Goodbye now.